Hua Yanlin Jun. Gideon Joshua Puono. Qi Yue Yue. Quan Zhenwei. Ravichandran Divyapurani. T. Agatesh. Tan Li Ting. Tae Eric. Tinh Huy Duyen Lisabel. Thuan Chau Kwan Derek. Wang Wei Liang. Wang Chaoran. Yap Wei Liang. Yo Karin. Thank you, professors. Thank you also to Minister Indrani and Dean Hoffman. With that, we conclude the presentation of our new graduates. On behalf of the alumni, I would like to wish all of you a huge congratulations and all the best for your future. May I now invite Professor Ian Curran to resume with the ceremony. Professor Curran, please.
Thank you, Dr. Ein. Now we come to one of the most somber parts of the evening. The taking of the Hippocratic Oath occurs at several important moments in the development of our clinicians. First, at the White Coat ceremony in Year 1, which marks the beginning of the Doctor of Medicine programme, and now signalling the end of their formal basic medical education. The oath lays out the professional values and personal responsibilities that our graduates all agree to uphold in the future care of their patients. By taking this oath, and I now speak to the class directly, you bond with your fellow students, your predecessors, your physician colleagues, and your mentors. I would also like to invite fellow physicians among the audience who would like to retake the oath to please rise and join the graduating class and I as we recite the Hippocratic Oath together. I will introduce each line of the oath and ask that the class repeat it after I complete each phrase. Please be upstanding. I do solemnly swear, by whatever I hold most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honour, and that into whatsoever home I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick and the well, to the utmost of my power, and that I will hold myself aloof from wrong and from corruption, and from the tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease, and will give no drugs and perform no operation for a criminal purpose, and far less suggest such a thing. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of men, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. These things I do promise, and in proportion as I am faithful to this oath, may happiness and good repute be ever mine. The opposite, if I shall be forsworn. Thank you. Please all be seated. It's always an incredibly moving to be part of this affirmation of the personal and professional values that underpin our medical profession. We would now like to share with you a special video of the graduating class of 2023. Please sit back and enjoy.
Becoming a clinician is a dream come true for me, but it wasn't as easy as I thought. Right before my year 2 final exams, my grandmother passed on. COVID-19 made it impossible for me to attend her funeral.
When the pandemic hit, it delayed the recruitment of patients for my PhD project.
Our curriculum had to be resequenced, and that change affected our exams too. Doing my US medical licensing examinations while being immersed in my research project was especially challenging.
When the pandemic hit, I had to redo my experiments all over again. I was frustrated, disappointed, and scared.
But at Duke-NUS, I found the perseverance and resilience together with my peers, and that gave me the motivation to keep going.
Dr. Suzanne Goh and the Duke-NUS community have helped me through the darkest of days. I would also like to show appreciation to Prof. Eugene Washington for his unwavering support to Duke-NUS and its graduating students.
In my time in Duke-NUS, I've learned that success in medicine and in life requires a supportive community. No matter how capable you are, you cannot do it alone.
My family and friends were always there for me, offering their love and support. They have made my hardships much easier to bear, and I am so grateful for having them in my life.
One of my proudest moments at Duke-NUS was organizing the Tri-Medical School Women in Surgery Forum 2022. It was an honor to bring together a diverse group of speakers and to contribute towards promoting diversity in medicine.
Winning the Young Investigator Award at the Wound Healing Society Conference in Arizona last year was my proudest academic achievement. Duke-NUS provided the platform and mentorship that helped me achieve this milestone, reinforcing my commitment to innovation in healthcare.
My proudest moment was launching our new public health initiative, Project Crane, with my classmates. We aim to improve health literacy in marginalized communities during the pandemic, and that was an incredibly rewarding experience for me.
Defending my thesis was definitely a highlight, thanks to invaluable mentorship from top professors and support from Duke-NUS and SingHealth. I am also inspired by Associate Professor Monisha Nongpure, Professor Tina Wong, and Professor Ivy Ng, three outstanding women in healthcare who actively promote innovation in medical research.
I want to revolutionize patient care by constantly innovating and developing new treatments and therapies.
My aspiration is to one day return to Duke-NUS as faculty, to have the opportunity to inspire and impact future generations.
I hope to lead by example and make a positive impact on the lives of my patients and colleagues.
My goal is to bridge the gap between research and clinical implementation, finding innovative ways to improve patient care.
We should never settle for the status quo.
It is up to us to push the boundaries of what's possible.
Let's transform medicine
and improve lives.
Fabulous achievements. I will now call on the graduate chosen to represent the PhD graduates, Dr. Lim Mei Chi, to come and share her reflections with us. Dr. Lim, please.
Thank you, Prof. Curran. On behalf of MD class speaker Dr. Michelle Koh, I greet our guests. Good evening, guests of honor, Ms. Indrani Raja, Prime Minister Office, Second Minister for Finance, and Second Minister for National Development. Keynote speaker, Professor Ivy Ng, Group Chief Executive Officer, Singapore Health Services. Professor Eugene Washington, Chancellor for Health Affairs, Duke University, and President and CEO, Duke University Health System. Mr. Goh Yu Lin, Chairman of Duke-NUS Governing Board. Mr. Tony Chiu, Founding Chairman of Duke-NUS Governing Board. Duke-NUS Governing Board members, Professor Thomas Kaufman, Dean of Duke-NUS, deans and faculty, distinguished guests, family, friends, colleagues, and fellow classmates. My name is Mei Chi, a PhD graduate of class 2023, and I'm deeply honored to be here today representing this year's MD, PhD, and PhD graduating students. Firstly, I would like to thank you all for being here today. My fellow coursemates, congratulations. We are finally here, completing yet another chapter of our academic lives. How amazing is that? Thank you for being there throughout my PhD journey and for supporting all of the student events that I had helped organize. I will always remember our times together fondly, and I hope we will always be in touch. On behalf of all of us PhD graduates in the room today, I would like to thank our amazing mentors for the tough love and dedication. Your guidance and support have been instrumental in getting us to where we are today. I would also like to thank our lab members and thesis advisory committee members. Your advice, brainstorm sessions, and reagent donations were truly appreciated. Of course, also not forgetting to thank our lovely student affairs, Silka, Catherine, and Rosilla. Your unwavering support have provided us the feeling of home away from home. I would also like to thank our family members, moms and dads, brothers and sisters, wives and husbands, grandpas and grandmas. You have helped us so much more than you could have ever imagined. Life of a PhD student is tough, but it would be so much tougher without a solid support system from you. There is just one more person I would like to thank, but I will save that for the end of my speech. A number of us graduating today do so with a PhD in integrated biology and medicine. Sounds fancy, right? But what does it actually mean? Biology, as many of us know, is a study of life. In Duke-NUS, biology often means the study of humans and sometimes bats. Over the many years of human history, we have studied the human body from the cellular level, including understanding signaling networks and their roles, to the functional level, such as learning the right number of hours of sleep for optimal performance. We're even now in the era of utilizing many innovative technologies and solutions to use our immune system against viruses and cancer. Yet, as we often look to understand the human body, how much do we know our own selves and what we can do as a person? I'm sure many of you can resonate with me when I said that we have completed our PhD through literal blood, sweat, and tears. Whenever people ask me what a PhD is about, I will say it's cycles and cycles of hopes getting built up in a form of research questions and certain positive results, only to be crushed to the ground in the form of negative results, expired reagents, or broken instrument. Years of going through these cycles have made us not only someone full of grit and sheer willpower, but we have also become so much more critical and analytical of the things we read and learn about. We have become so good at time and project management as well. Throw us in any type of job, and I'm sure that even though we may struggle at first, we will learn, identify our mistakes, troubleshoot, and achieve excellence in a short period of time. I'm saying all this because I understand from all of the failed experiments we have had, many of us suffered or still suffer from self-doubt. Admittedly, life can get tough at times, but as cliche as it may sound, we are tough too. From all of the broken hopes and self-doubts to achievements and proud moments, including today when we finally graduate from our PhD program, our bodies have been through it all. And we survived. We survived. And we will continue to survive and thrive in anything we choose to do next. Aptly put as a scientist, I like to quote Marie Curie. Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained. And to quote one of my favorite poets, Maya Angelou, my mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive and do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Finally, I would like to quote myself from the last sentence I made at the end of my thesis defense last year. I would like to thank myself for surviving this. As we move forward in life, performing our daily hustle to achieve our goals and dreams, I hope we will never forget to take a pause sometimes to tell ourselves thank you. Thank you very much. It gives me great pleasure to introduce on stage Dr. Michelle Koh, who has been nominated to present the graduation speech for the MD class of 2023. Michelle, please.
Thank you, Mechi. Good evening, guests of honor, Ms. Indrani Raja, keynote speaker, Professor Ivy Ng, Professor Eugene Washington, Mr. Goh Yu Lin, Mr. Tony Chu, Duke-NUS governing board members, Professor Thomas Kaufman, deans and faculty, distinguished guests, family, friends, and fellow classmates. I am deeply honored to stand before you today to celebrate the remarkable achievement of our medical school graduates. My name is Michelle Koh, and I had the privilege to serve as the class president for the graduating MD class over the past 2 years. During our medical school application, we each had to write an essay on our experience with adversity. From making life-changing decisions to giving up our old careers, to juggling work and family commitments, adversity is something familiar to many aspiring medical school graduates. Yet, nothing from our past could ever fully prepare us for the journey ahead. The past 4 years have been nothing short of eventful for the graduating class. 6 months into our first year, the COVID pandemic took over our lives. Our preclinical year was converted overnight into Zoom classes, and the entire year 2 to 3 curriculum was revamped when hospitals closed their doors to medical students in 2020. Friends could no longer provide physical support for one another when sub-cohorting measures kicked in to prevent COVID clusters within the school. Many of us did not have the chance to see loved ones abroad for almost 3 years when travel restrictions were implemented. Never could we have imagined in 2019 that our medical school journey would be a true test of our perseverance, mental resilience, and faith. Despite all these challenges, I have been deeply heartened by the humanity and kindness demonstrated, sometimes in the most unexpected places. Our international friends found a new family in Singapore as they were invited into classmates and faculty members' homes, especially during the festive seasons. The gardening community bonded over our collection of plants, and I have even been gifted a baby papaya plant from a classmate that now stands taller than me in my home. The caffeine addicts began investing in fancy coffee beans and grinders as part of our retail therapy, and I will never forget the afternoons we spent together sharing our new toys while pretending to be coffee connoisseurs in Stephanie's home. I also know of badminton enthusiasts in our class who bonded over sports, Dota fans who spend too many hours gaming together, and foodies who go cafe hopping in JB over the weekends. There have been too many heartwarming experiences that I'd love to continue sharing if I had the luxury of time, but that is a story for another day. These experiences in medical school have taught me one important life lesson. Strength is not measured by the size of the mountain, but by the courage and ability to rise above challenges in our path. Dukies have and will always find a way to make the best of every situation. Every single one of you here gave your all to get to where you are, and you fully deserve all the achievements we are celebrating today. As we step out of these doors, I hope that you'll never forget the Duke family we've built over the past 4 years. Please continue looking out for one another, sharing useful resources, and collaborating with each other during your clinical or academic pursuits. I also want to take this moment to appreciate the support from the school and faculty. To Dean Kaufman and our Vice Deans, thank you for your leadership and support to the students. To our beloved faculty and ceremonial holders, thank you for your guidance and mentorship during our clinical training. To my fellow classmates, thank you for being each other's pillars of support, for the fun and joy, as well as for the memories we will look back on fondly in the decades to come. And most importantly, to our family and loved ones, we will never be where we are today without your unwavering support. May I now invite the class of 2023 to all rise, turn around to face the audience, and give a loud round of applause to all these people who helped us get to where we are now. I am so proud of each and every one of you, and I hope you embark on the next stage of your career with the same excitement and anticipation you had when stepping into the doors of Duke-NUS 4 years ago. Congratulations to the class of 2023, and I wish you only the best for the adventures to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ko. Before I close this evening's ceremony, may I add my own personal congratulations to each and every one of our graduating class. In marking this auspicious moment, I too, as our guest speaker has done, will turn to Winston Churchill for inspiration. Yes, he was a very determined and often rather pugnacious British bulldog. And he famously once said, and this is of relevance to the class, "This is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end. But this is perhaps the end of the beginning." And so now, as you stand on the cusp of a new chapter, a new career, a new beginning, may I humbly share some sagely advice that I appreciated receiving as a newly graduated doctor some moons ago. Make the care of your patient your first concern. Treat every patient as you would wish your own family to be treated. and always try to do the right thing, even if it is difficult or challenging for you to do so. As you go forward, I wish you every success in your future endeavours. I encourage you to be brave, be humble, be curious, and above all, be kind. Be kind to your patients, to your colleagues, and to yourself. Finally, I challenge you in whatsoever you do, to do it with all thy might. On behalf of the school, may I thank each and every one of you for joining us here today to celebrate our graduates' outstanding achievements. And now, as our guest of honour, other dignitaries, faculty and graduating class participate in the ceremonial procession, I respectfully ask everyone else to please stand and wait for the procession until it has left the auditorium. I formally declare this ceremony closed. Thank you and good evening.